Obviously, MAPS is responsible for putting those low water dams in the river that had been, for so many years, the city leaders had thought about the idea of putting water back in the river, of course led by Ray Ackerman, and it took MAPS to get the funding available to put those low water dams in, and that just changed everything. And I talked to people around the country about this, about how transformational that one project was, because the fact that, you know, taking and putting water into this river that was essentially, as we all know, a ditch for so long, transformed the entire landscape in the heart of our city. And how often does a city have a chance to do that? I mean, right in the middle of town, and completely reinvent a riverfront. And so MAPS allowed us to, it really gave us this blank canvas to say, we have this new opportunity to paint this incredible new venue and opportunity for Oklahoma City. And from that, because of the quality of the venue and the river itself being, you know, meeting all those prerequisites that you need to be a world-class event venue, we were able to set the standard for the buildings that came. That if we're going to have a world-class waterway, thanks to MAPS, we're going to have world-class facilities, world-class programming, and world-class events. And we really set that standard early on, a very high standard. Making the river come alive with activity was the most important early step that we took. Then it became easier to say, well, you know, we need to have, you know, additional facilities, and if we're going to do facilities and build boathouses, and we have this river that I believe could be truly a world-class venue, we need to do this right. And thankfully we had a lot of visionaries in our city that supported that idea, and we were able to create a real iconic set of boathouses thanks to Rand Elliott, and a master plan that really, we believe, is going to establish the river internationally as one of the premier venues in the world. We have the Chesapeake Boathouse, which remains our community boathouse. It was the first facility opened about 7 years ago. It's really the heart of all of our youth programs right now, and all of our community recreational programming. But then we also have the Chesapeake Finish Line Tower, we have a lot of events here. It's our visitor center. It's where we have outdoor movies in the summer, so it really brings a whole nother dynamic to the mix here at the river. And then we have the Devon Boathouse, which is the high performance center, and home to Oklahoma City University's rowing team. So that was really the first university to engage in rowing here and canoe kayak. But that also brought the elite athletes and U.S. rowing and USA canoe kayak, and so it's really that high performance facility. And then, you know, then further down the river, we've started adding these adventure and elements and these new attractions, which really have really transitioned the river from being a program and event destination to just a daily attraction where you can come with your family, your friends, tourists coming into town can come here any day of the week and climb the tallest sky trail in the world, go down the tallest slide in America, go zip lining, rent a kayak. And so it just adds a whole new dynamic to the mix here. And then it is laying the groundwork for what will come with the Whitewater Center and the additional boathouses. Mm-hmm.
2013 is a very unique year for the Oklahoma City Boathouse District in that we're hosting USA Canoe Kayak Sprint National Championships in August, and we'll have 400 of the very best young kayakers from around the country racing for national titles here. One of the things that makes that different this year is that we have these lights that we can do the night racing with, bring night sprints into the equation. Now imagine you're a 14-year-old young person who's come from Gainesville, Georgia, to race at the national championships, your first kayak race away from home. You're racing in front of a big crowd, you're racing under the lights, you're racing in this world-class venue. You're racing out of start gates, the same kind of start gates that they used in the Olympic Games in London. All of these things together help engage young people, help them set the Olympic Games as a destination on their map, which is a good thing for us here at the Boathouse District.
Turning the lights on is an important milestone for MAPS 3. It's not only important for the river, I think it's important just as the ballpark was in the first MAPS project to show the completion of a major project. And what is unique about this, and we kind of use the analogy sometimes like this is kind of like Field of Dreams in that we're turning the lights on and not to sound cheesy, but truly if you turn the lights on and you build it, they will come, and you can see how many people are going to be lined up to come get on the water because of these lights. And we have from internationally making that this is going to be very very significant, being the only major venue in the world, water venue, to have stadium lights. And so when you think of all the events that can come as a result of that, it's going to be very powerful, not only for outsiders to come into Oklahoma City to experience it, but also for our community, to get involved in our youth programming, our corporate rowing, our dragon boating, to be able to come and have the experience of racing or being on the water under the lights. It's very unique. And so it sets the standard. I think the other thing is that it is innovative, it's different, and it's unique. Being that this is the first time it's ever been done, and that's the first completion of the first MAPS project, I think that sends another message. And then following this, the next major project at the river will be the Whitewater Center. And we're doing many other things like improvements to the race course, a windscreen, which is going to be very important to the quality of the venue, some lighting and wayfinding. But the Whitewater Center is going to be starting later this year. And that's going to be an incredible project that I think is going to surprise a lot of people when they see the finished product.
When we look at a young person and their path from starting to paddle to standing on a podium and having a medal draped around their neck, hopefully a gold medal, that is. One of the things that we know that's very important is that that young person has to feel comfortable, confident with the idea of putting the Olympic Games as a destination in their paddling pursuit early on. And the more they know about what that takes, the more that they have an understanding of the years, the opportunities, the challenges that go into it, that is almost always the difference in someone that actually succeeds in making it and succeeding in winning medals at the Games and someone that just doesn't have that idea of how you get there. The Oklahoma City Boathouse District takes all those things into consideration with all these amenities that we bring to the Boathouse District, whether it is next generation boathouses, whether they're beautiful grandstands, whether it's attractions that bring people in. The idea that a 13, 14, 15-year-old young person from Oklahoma City can train in this environment, and that just becomes the new normal for kayaking in this country, that positions us for America's next great run in the Olympic and Paralympic world of canoe kayak. I always say that in my time being a whitewater canoe athlete, that the most important thing you do as a whitewater athlete is that you take your boat, you align it with the most amount of momentum on the river, and then you add your own muscle to whatever's there. Otherwise, you're just paddling upstream against the current going nowhere. Of course, that's happening here in Oklahoma City. We are implementing the true Oklahoma City values into the daily operations of growing this sport on a national and international level. The kind of vibrancy and the momentum and excitement that we feel as citizens living here in Oklahoma City, that is being transformed into everything we do at USA Canoe Kayak. The Oklahoma River is an Olympic training site in itself. There are no fences here. There's no security gates. If a family comes down and sets up a picnic blanket in front of the Chesapeake Finish Line Tower, no one is going to tell those people to leave. We embrace having the community access to this. Our athletes need that community access. They need to kind of feel that idea of being a part of something bigger that they can channel into their training and into their pursuits, and help them feel human about what they're doing in the process of trying to win Olympic medals for the United States.
We've already established the fact that what we have in the Boathouse District is really unique. There's nothing like this anywhere. Well, then you add to it this very unique these adventure attractions that are the tallest and the biggest in the country or the world. And then you combine that with the Whitewater Center, which is truly going to be unique in that the only other one similar to this is in Charlotte, North Carolina. And the fact is, this one is urban, that one is not. And so you look at the opportunity that comes from that, and the idea of coming to the river, being able to do these really unique experiences that you really can't do anywhere else, and you're in the middle of the city. I think it's going to be just incredibly transformational for the river, but I also think Oklahoma City, in that if you think about it, people are going to come to downtown Oklahoma City to pursue their outdoor adventure interests and desires, and that is pretty remarkable, you know, when you think about it. We certainly want people to see that this is a place to come and have fun and bring their families to. So in that sense, yes, I mean, it does have those attributes that you would have at an amusement park. And you know, when you see a giant slide, you know, on the side of the SkyTrail, it's sure to send that message. But what they're going to find, and what people are going to find, is when you're doing this, you're going to have these incredible thrills that you're going to experience, jumping off the top of the SkyTrail on the rumble dropper, zipping across the river. But again, as you're doing all of this, you're burning calories, you're climbing, you're challenging yourselves in ways that you maybe didn't expect. Everything here involves movement. You're moving, you're climbing, you're zipping, you're whitewater rafting, you're kayaking, you're biking, and I think that creates number one, I think it's a great opportunity for Oklahomans in improving our health and wellness, but having a fun way to do that. And that's been really the vision and the inspiration behind a lot of this.